Navigating today's real estate market can be tricky. Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim Paola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition. It's Florida Talk Real Estate. We got you for the next 2 hours of infotainment. And thanks for being out there. 92.1, 101.7, the old terrestrial radio. We appreciate the tune-in. Of course, if you have your free download, your iHeartRadio app, we're worldwide. And if you don't know, well, now you know. And you might know because you could be like literally anywhere in the world tuning in on your free download. And thanks for doing that if you are. And we have cameras set up in studio on a Saturday for a reason, because that's a live stream setup, y'all, on Facebook. Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. Florida Talk Real Estate LLC on YouTube, home of a ton of informational chunk videos. And, of course, a live stream. If you're there out the gates, thank you very much for being with us. You can always join at any time, even revisit after the fact. And you're always welcome to be a part of the program. We are live on this 11th day of April. And if you dial in at 877-927-6969 with a question, comment, concern in the world of real estate, if you'd like to get involved in the conversation at hand, the first voice you'll hear, the melodious tones of our producer extraordinaire, my brother from another mother. What up, Jim?
Hello, and good morning, gentlemen. A pleasure to be here with you on a Saturday.
Oh, always a pleasure, my man. It's the first face I see when I walk in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's my favorite one, too.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as always. Johnny C., that's me, your old buddy, your old pal. Let's go ahead and get your starting lineup on a Saturday. Start with Mike Rauch. He's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm.
Yes,
Mike,
sir.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. Doing great.
I love it.
Like you, I saw Jimothy first thing this morning.
It's a ray of sunshine that even if it's gloomy out, you will be met with.
Interesting.
Warms the cockles of my heart to hear.
I'm
that.
looking at him now. The lighting might be different than right?
little different from my angle.
Yeah. You said ray of sunshine?
That's why
He
I keep
is.
the lights off.
I do everything I can to warm his cockles.
Ooh. Yeah.
But yes, good morning.
Again, good morning.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure, my friend. And I'm sorry you don't get the same kind of feels that I do when I see Jim.
I get some kind of feel.
They're not the same. But it's
the other end.
It has grown over time. As all relationships, good ones, at least, they evolve, they grow, you morph. I have much more passion for Jimothy now than I did, I don't know, when we were riding around in a bus together up to Melbourne.
Oh, boy.
How many years ago was that?
Stories.
Just a few.
Yeah, just a few. And I say much more, not much more.
There's probably some
Gates.
listeners who know that history. Talk about it.
I will tell you, there were some listeners that were there. We went up. That was a foam party up in. You remember that, Jimothy?
Like rigid foam, or
you remember when they used to do like raves? When they do like
trying
raves?
to remember the venue,
like a styrofoam party.
Yeah, right. Bubbles. What was the venue? Man, I can't remember the venue either. But it was a Monsters of the Midday performance / foam party. And we had to drive the bus up there. When I say we, you had the CDL.
Oh, okay.
You remember?
Now that brings back memories.
Wow, right?
Yeah.
How about you and me on a huge school bus alone?
Yeah.
Why did you have to take the bus?
It's a big billboard for the radio station.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was it a shorty bus?
No, this was a full size.
If I were a vet man, Jim.
Wave got that. Wave 92.7.
They ended up with that. They sure did. Good to see you as always, my dude. And of course, we got to talk to our fearless leader. Hello there, Jimmy D. Jim DePola is with the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. It's 14 plus years now. I've told you he runs a top producing Keller Williams team. How you doing there, Jimmy D?
Hey, I'm doing great. Happy South Florida, everybody. I'm looking forward to today's show because we have a special guest, which Johnny will introduce in a second.
We sure do. And that's a weird transition. I just wanted you to say hi.
No, I appreciate it. No, I totally get it.
But yes, we do have a very special guest joining us today, and it's awesome. I'm meeting him for the first time. You are as well. And hopefully he's going to be a regular, at least checking in from time to time. The operating principal from Inspire Network, Brett Caldwell, is with us on a Saturday. If you don't believe me, check out the live stream. Brett, nice to meet you and welcome.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks for the invite.
It is great to have you in. Are you ready for a couple of hours of infotainment?
Infotainment?
Yes, sir.
Talk All of it.
I
sir.
love it. Let's just get you a little closer into that microphone so
Yep.
everybody can hear you. And again, welcome.
I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate
Jim invited me to come talk, and I couldn't be more excited to spend the morning with you guys here on a Saturday
Excellent.
talking real estate.
Excellent. It's a pleasure to have you in.
We'll try to get some real estate in.
Yeah.
we managed to shoehorn it in a
yeah,
little
we
bit.
get
Yeah.
some of it in there.
Have you ever been to a foam party?
I have, but I don't want to talk about that on air.
Am I the only one?
Can we
that
go to
has
break?
not- Am I the only one?
I've
that's
never
not
been to a
on
foam party.
Me
No.
neither. Me
So
neither.
I had heard you're a bit of a music enthusiast, and instantly I was like, see, avid golfer, and I was like, all right, I can have some fun on the golf course. You don't want to golf with me. That's a long, frustrating day.
We could do putt-putt, though.
But
Successful.
yeah, hey,
Yeah.
I'm definitely someone you want to have like out with you on,
Okay.
on a round
You're
for
fun.
sure. Yeah,
It's
it's gonna be it's the seasoning, right? It's seasoning. But I heard that you're a music enthusiast,
I am.
and I as well.
Donnie.
I would definitely, I call it a concert junkie, but I like music enthusiast. It just sounds, I don't know, it sounds more adult. Truly, does that mean you attend a lot of shows?
I do.
Oh, I bet you we get along really well. What is your genre?
I would probably say rock
Nice.
to alternative.
Did we just become best friends?
We
Yeah,
might.
I think so. Instantly.
Do you go to Rockville?
I have not.
Okay. Do you want to go to Rockville?
Let's go.
Coming up here in a couple weeks.
I need
We
more
got a
friends,
bus.
so let's go.
Yeah, me and my wife, we attend concerts whenever financially or just possible. Working for the radio station for many years give you lots of entry. We are what you might dub pit people.
Yeah.
The closer the better for sure, but I'll sit in the lawn if I have to. But we just went to St. Augustine last weekend, saw Billy Strings. It's
Oh, nice.
fantastic. But when I heard music enthusiasts, I was like, I bet you me and Brett might really get along.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
You're also going to cost me a lot of money because I know my wife is watching this show.
And
Probably researching concerts right now.
so birds of a feather do flock together.
There you
Of
go.
course, your wife is into the scene as well. Much
So
like
tell
mine
us
is.
more about that foam party.
Well, I can't wait to learn more about you, and of course, hear some of your insight being in the industry and at the top of the industry for so long. It's going to be great hearing
Yeah.
your perspective on some
Let's
things.
jump into it.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Besides, one of the reasons why we wanted to have Brett on is that he has a unique perspective because he works with Keller Williams offices in 4 states or 5 states. I'm gonna
4.
count right now. 4. I'm sorry. It'll be 7 soon. But anyway, 4 states. So he has a really good perspective of what's really happening in the economy and the idiosyncrasies of each market. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Because as we talked about for 14 years, real estate is not neighborhood to it can be street to
It
street.
could be street by street.
But when you go multiple states, that is a real firm grasp understanding of how real estate is really on a national scale,
Mhm.
right? Florida's one thing, and we hear a lot of expertise about Florida, the region we're in, even more so. But to touch on those many states, that's a real overhead view on a lot more than just our kind of micro situation.
It is. And
Yeah.
you know how wonky I am about the stats
Totally.
and everything, right?
Yes.
So I didn't know who Brett was when he actually bought the Keller Williams office, Keller Williams Innovations in Boynton Beach, where I work.
Oh, excellent.
So when I met him the first time, I was at a function that he had put on to introduce everybody to him and his team, Inspire Network. And he started talking stats, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna like this guy a lot because I'm a stats guy, Brett."
You feel the same way. You're like,
Yeah.
did we just become best friends?
I know. It's like it was really cool. For 14 years now, Brett, we've been talking about what's happened with the Freddie Mac report and the Fed Reserve and everything. And I have like institutional knowledge. If you ask me, like, what was the interest rate in November, 2023, I'll tell you 7.79 and stuff like that. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So very interesting stuff. So I'm really excited to find out his perspective of what he's thinking is happening because everybody has a different opinion on the real estate market right now.
Absolutely.
But first, if you don't mind, we're also going to be talking, just to give you a little bit overview besides Brett, we're going to be talking about the economy because Mike's in town, obviously, Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm, and we love talking about this stuff. We're going to be talking about interest rates. It isn't bad news this week, so that's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
And we're going to, the jobless report came out, the jobs creation came out, the CPI came out, Consumer Price Index. So there was a lot of reports that came out this week and last week, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. The other thing I want to make sure that we get to this week, I'm really seeing a trend, and I really want to talk to Brett about this later, but I've had several people come to me who are thinking of selling their houses now and saying, I think I'm going to use one of those we buy houses fast for cash kind of companies.
Why? Because a piece of mail showed up?
Basically, yeah.
Stop
One of
it.
them just told
I
me
get one
recently.
every day.
I know.
Every day.
I know. And people are starting to see value in that messaging.
Are
And
they?
yes. And that's what's surprising to me. And I used to be a full-time investor, no problem with that. And they do serve a vital purpose in the industry itself.
Oh, absolutely.
But
you have a relationship with
one of the big ones. Yeah.
Right. Because in times of need, that can be your only out, really, as an investor, possibly.
Yes. But finding the right investor that's going to handle you correctly and not just worry about the transaction and them, that's very hard to find. And the amount of money you're losing most of the time. So we're going to be talking about the benefits and the pros and cons of, should I go that way or should I go another way?
Oh, I hope people that are considering using that route to sell their home are listening today, because you need to hear everything when it comes to that.
One person I just met, I got to them too late because the referral I got was just too late in the process. They probably lost about $125,000 on the value of their home for the sale.
My money.
I mean, they left that on the table?
They left it on the table, and we're not talking about like a $1.5 million home where it's like 10%. We're talking like this was 20 to 25% of the after repaired value of the house. So they just lost so much money, and the investor was very slick on the campaign of why they said they should do it that way. But we couldn't get to them in time, and they decided to move forward on it. And I just don't want to see other people do that. So we're going to talk about that also.
Well, they do say ignorance is bliss. I hope they don't know they lost that much money.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
right.
lost out on potentially that much money.
Right. And
did Jim walk that fine line carefully? Right.
I'm sure. Like, he's not a dream crusher.
Sure, you want to proceed? You're about to lose $125,000.
I was pretty hyped
let
out.
him know.
It was a Vero Beach property.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into it later, but it'll be very interesting. But first, let's get into the shout outs, because this last quarter has been just so busy for us throughout the whole thing. And I wish Ross was here with us today, but we didn't have enough slots. So Ross Camarinas from Brightway Insurance, wanted to give a shout out to him. We had a lot of difficult questions about flood zones that we had to ask about. I learned more stuff about flood zones this week. I was totally surprised. I learned about I had this one house where the house it was on an 1.5 acre lot, let's say, and the house itself and a little bit surrounding the house is not in the flood zone.
Yeah.
But the rest of the land, because you live out in that area.
I saw that. I wasn't quite sure what he was trying to communicate.
So this is the difference about hiring like somebody like, joining our team and using our team for resources. We have a deep network of resources. So I had somebody wanted to buy a house in the acreage, and their ultimate plan is to put a second building on the property.
Okay.
So I was checking the information out, and I found out that this property has 2 flood zone notifications. The first one is X. That's the good one, means you're not in a flood zone. And then it was AE. Well, Mike's shaking his head. Tell me why you think that's incorrect.
I've heard it say everything is in a flood
Well,
zone.
that's
It's just
true.
like, what's the likelihood that your zone is going to flood? So X is less likely. That's the 500 year,
Well,
like once in 500 years.
Not forced flood zone.
You're not
insurance,
required
not
to
forced
have
flood insurance.
flood insurance.
Yes.
That's a good
So
benchmark.
It had an X, but it also had an AE, which means that parts of the property are in a flood zone,
A
the
higher
100-year
risk,
high
yeah.
risk flood zone. And I was more concerned for my customer about if they buy it and nobody talks to them about this, because they would just get regular insurance for this house and everything. And if nobody talked to them about it, what would happen if you put the building on the flood zone area? Because it was like the whole property, any place you put the building was a flood zone. I wanted to make sure, A, could they put a building there? Would the building department allow it? And B, how much money is it going to cost to insure? And Ross had all the great information on that. And it was just so great to pick up the phone, ask him some things, send an email to him with the listing, and then he calculates it. And
considering where they're at, I don't imagine building anything's going to be an issue. But I'm sure the insurance changes a little bit.
That's exactly, you're smarter than me because I had to learn this. So
Johnny just knew that.
Yeah, Johnny knew it and I didn't. I just want to make sure because you never want to tell somebody something and be
you're
incorrect.
not gonna fill in the blanks about
out in the acreage and locks, and you'll see that a lot where the house is built up because they're forced to be built up, right? Like all those homes have to start with the pad that's 9-10 feet above I guess sea level. I don't know what it is, but above the
flood
flood plain.
It's called the base flood elevation.
Yeah, that's why you'll see the house is not in the flood zone, but the yard around the house is, and that's because the house is built up.
So Johnny is right. What Ross has determined is specifically with that property, but most of the properties in that general area, because they all look like the same thing. As far as the house being lifted up, that's okay, but everything else, not so much.
Not so much.
So you can build on it, but insuring it, you're going to pay like full flood insurance coverage, which is way higher. If you don't need it, it's way lower. So if he built it, then he would have to make a decision. Do I want to insure it or not insure it?
Yeah, because if you're in a quote unquote non-flood zone, to get flooding coverage is really inexpensive. But if you're in a flood zone, now the game changes, right?
Yeah, then it's
like, we know you flood, right?
Yeah. In fact, when we started though, flood insurance was less than $1 a day if you didn't need it. You just wanted to cover to make sure.
Sure.
Now it's about $3 a day.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it has gone up to about $1,000 a year if you.
Oh, it's considerably more.
It is. So
when
it is an expense now. Before $300 a year, why not do it, right? Just to cover yourself.
I can't give you the answer because I've passed on it every
Every
year.
time.
Yeah. I don't know why. It is only like $300 a year.
One good thing that Ross is doing these days, they provide a flood quote whether you need it or not, or whether it's required or not. They put it because a lot of people will do that voluntary policy, Johnny. So
sure,
you're getting a loan, but you're not in a zone that requires flood insurance. But he'll provide a flood quote, and I'm curious. I'm going to look at a couple that he sent out and just see what those numbers are. If we're at $900 or $300.
Yeah, because 300's palatable.
Magali, who's a big fan of our show. Thank you, Magali, for coming in today. I really appreciate it. She's on YouTube, I think. Yeah, she's on YouTube. She just said, I'm not in a flood zone. I pay $520 a year for flood insurance.
Okay.
So that's a little cheaper than what I was saying, but I've seen a lot of times $3. So that's
I think our policy is about that, about $550.
About $550 for the year.
We're not in a flood zone.
Right.
Here's one $480, not in a flood zone.
Okay, good.
So maybe I'm off. So maybe it's $1.50 a year instead of under $1 a year.
It's still going
Oh yeah, per day.
Yeah, and it might depend
per
on
day.
the amount
per
of
day.
coverage too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So anyway, I wanted to give a shout out to Ross because he's always there for us all the time. And it's so nice. And one of the things we do, Brett, that a lot of agents don't do down here, when we take a property, we ask Ross to give us insurance quotes, and we put the insurance quotes in the document section on the MLS. So that the buyers can see what the insurance policy is going to be because it's such a big deal.
Well, I think that's brilliant. I mean, how many people buy down here that have no idea about flood insurance and flooding and all that stuff, and you're just putting it in front of them on the front end so they come to the table already educated.
Yeah,
absolutely. And we do regular, not just flood. We do the whole insurance policy form, and Ross gives them the main quote, which is called the premier quote, which is normal deductibles, higher premiums, full coverage, and full replacement costs. And then he gives us a discount quote for people that hate insurance but have to have it, and that's higher deductibles, lower premiums, but prorated replacement costs. So if you got a 10-year-old couch, they're rating your couch as a 10-year-old couch and give you the money back for that. So it really helps out with mortgages and making sure that they can stay within their mortgage parameters. And as a listing agent, I'd rather just get all that out front, right up front, so that the buyers have the information they need.
Absolutely.
So
it's also critical to, if you're getting a mortgage, the insurance number is critical as a part of your component of your payment and can make or break your deal, right? Because when you qualified for a mortgage, you qualify for a payment. And so I think maybe this is something you could talk to about the markets, but the Florida insurance number can vary so much just depending on a lot of factors of the home, where I think maybe outside of, in different states, you don't have so much variation, based on a home that was built 20 years before the other home or something like that. So Florida can really make a difference. And so Jim always does a good job of letting people know, like, here's a legitimate insurance quote for this home. Don't overlook this, right? Make sure your lender is looking at this number.
Yeah. I don't know how, I don't even remember when we started that policy. It wasn't that long ago. It was only a couple of years ago. But I just really, I guess when the insurance crisis started, that's when it probably around
then,
21, 22 is when we started it.
When it was like, can I even get insurance on this? Oh, yes, you can. You can.
Your roof is 1 year old. I'm not insuring you.
Well, I think it's strategic, because what percentage of properties here are being bought with cash?
About 40%.
30-40%, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the people buying with cash don't have a great lender in their back pocket, causing them to have these conversations early. So they may go all the way right before closing and then get the sticker shock or the flood insurance shock. And just putting that on the front end alleviates so many concerns, problems, all that stuff.
I call it deal killers, and I'm trying to avoid all the deal killers to make sure my deal gets through.
The potholes you've seen before.
Yeah, and I always joke with people, don't hire me if you think you're going to sell your house, because your house is sold when you hire me, right? The house is closing. Don't go into contract with me if you don't want to close, because I'm closing. So anyway, a couple other shout outs. Wanted to give a shout out to Doug and Stephanie. I'm so happy for them. Stephanie has been a longtime school teacher in the area.
Awesome.
And they're buying a new home. They had owned a home a few years ago. Their first home, I helped them buy that. I think they bought it in I don't remember what year, but I think it was like 2016 or something. They got bought out by a developer that bought all the properties in the area to build this big development. So it was time for them to buy again. So we went out. It was kind of tough because on a teacher's budget, it's always tough in Florida. So we must have looked at, and this is very unusual for me, but we looked at probably 20 houses, 25 houses. Turned in a couple offers, so we were swinging for the fences, got rejected, got beat out by investors a couple of times. But yesterday, Mike, we got him under contract. Mike didn't even know until this morning.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy for Stephanie and Doug. After the show, I'm going to go back and just sign a couple documents to get the inspection moving forward.
Excellent.
So congratulations to Doug and Stephanie, and thank you for trusting me.
And hopefully we can get some Hometown Heroes funding for them.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, man, is that going to work?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Well, it will, but there's no funding right now for that program. So we have like a plan A, plan B, plan C.
I'm almost guaranteed that house that they're buying is going to be in the mortgage firm $15,000. I didn't even check yet.
Nice. Yeah.
I think they're going to get the Smart Start. Brett, the mortgage firm where Mike works, which is a direct lender, they have a program right now. I hope they don't run out of money before all my clients could use it. But they have a program where you can get $15,000 lender credit, non-repayable. Just get the money.
Just a straight
and you
credit.
can stack it with regular down payment assistance programs.
Really?
So if you use the Florida bond program down here, there's $10,000 almost any first-time home buyer can get down here in Florida. You can stack that with Mike and get $25,000 to help buy your home.
Wow.
How cool is that?
That's cool.
So
it's one of the big challenges for buyers is coming up with the cash required, even on the lower down payment. You know, it's still thousands and thousands of dollars required. And so those down payment assistance programs have really been a boon for people. And then this $15,000 is something that we kind of rolled out last year, but we kind of really started ramping it up this year to get the word out. And we've helped, I don't know, I haven't been even keeping track of how many families just on this radio show we've helped this year. But it's been a number of them.
And we're closing one on Monday.
Yeah.
Monday, one of our buyers, they're from Atlanta. They found my property on Zillow, right?
Yep.
Did a lot of research, called me up.
Jim was kind of able to leverage because the program is all about the location of the home, not necessarily about the buyers or the sellers. And so Jim was able to leverage the fact that it was in a qualifying zone for this listing. And he put that in there and said, hey, this, there's a, if you use the mortgage firm, you don't have to, but if you do, there's a program available. It's $15,000, that
free
you can
money
use towards your closing costs, buy down the rate, do whatever you want with
free
it.
money.
It's free money.
It's the equivalent of a seller credit, right? But it's a lender credit. and you picked the buyers. Somehow the buyers.
The buyers found us, and what's great is they're
Yeah.
not a first-time home buyer. With this lender credit, you don't have to be a first-time home buyer or anything.
right.
You just have to be buying a house
And
in
a
the right type
qualifying-
of census tract
That's
data.
right.
And it's very,
Broad,
it's
pretty
all
broad
over,
here.
very broad. Westlake is included, which is where new construction is.
Oh,
and then
you can't in your head be like, oh, that's definitely in there. It's
you have to
No,
check with
you
Mike.
can't
on
say it's
each one.
definitely not in there. It's just
Right.
no way you can get there
Check.
on your own.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So with Doug and Stephanie, she's a teacher, so she qualifies as a hero, the Hometown Heroes category, which is a down payment assistance program that's kind of the best one out there because it's the most amount of money. It's 5% of their loan amount. So in this case, if they're doing, whatever, if they're doing a $400,000 loan
Oh,
amount,
right.
that's $20,000. On top of that, we can stack Smart Start. So it could end up nice. I have if I were betting, I would bet that Hometown Heroes funding will become available for them in the coming weeks.
Oh,
But
that'd be great.
we're kind of in the fallout zone for Hometown Heroes, meaning they've run out of money, but there will be loans that were reserved and locked that don't close. Those reservations go back into the pool of funds available. So
Right.
And Mike's
every
checking all
Monday,
the
I'll
time.
be every
Mike
Monday
checks.
morning I'll be checking for them.
So
that's so cool.
congratulations, Stephanie and Doug. Just wanted to give
Can I
very
ask a quick question?
Sure,
Just
sure.
when is that getting refunded?
The fiscal year is July 1st.
July
So
1st.
now there's no guarantee. Tallahassee has to,
Of course.
do their thing. There was
But I know it's evergreen.
It's so the fund it's definitely meant to be funded, but they have to appropriate the funds. So this past summer 2025, it was very late because they were debating how much to do. It was 100 million. They cut it down to 50 million. They cut down the professions back to the hero professions because they only funded 50 million, which actually turned out
It worked.
as a good thing because
Yep.
the money has lasted. Instead of going away in like 2 months, it's stretched. And here we are in April, and they just ran out. So
Yeah.
it's
It
helped
worked.
a
What
lot
they
of
were
the
trying to
hero
do.
families.
Yep,
Yeah,
for
sure.
kind of went
It's
back to its roots
awesome.
a little bit.
Just want to
Thank
do
you.
another just really fast shout out before we round out the segment. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's been calling me up lately, all the fans of the show and previous customers that have been telling me about other people that need help and say, you got to call Jim, and it's been really, really, they don't say Jim. They usually, you got to call the radio guy. He knows everything, which I don't. I just have everybody around me that knows everything. But I am a problem solver. I get things done for people, but I want to just give a shout outs to people that have let me know about potential opportunities. Tom and Denise, some of my favorite customers. They've been with us for a long time. I've helped them sell, I think, 2 or 3 properties now, including their mom's last summer when they needed to sell their mom's home. He called me up because somebody was thinking about selling their home to an investor. She has a very unique situation. Her house is not in very good condition and she needs the money. But she has a double lot, and that double lot is way more value than if you just had a single family home on the one lot.
It's a desirable spot.
And there's a
Yeah.
lot of potential for her to make extra money if she does
Good
this
one.
the right way.
A lot of potential.
A lot of
right?
So thank you so much. I'm going to be reaching out to them very soon and trying to help her and find out what's best for her. Maybe Investor is the best
Sure.
situation for her situation. We'll figure it out. Also wanted to say Robbie and Connie, I helped sell their house in the Lantana area years and years ago, maybe 10 years ago, and helped them buy a new home. They let me know about a neighbor that they have that they feel that might need my help, and I'm going to be talking to him soon.
Excellent.
And then John M., I really appreciated John. I don't want to say last names on the show, but he told me about a vacant property next door to him and wanted to let me know in case there's an opportunity for me to get a listing. Unfortunately, when I looked at it, it was active under contract already, but the effort and the thought of calling me to let me know, that's
Amazing.
awesome.
Yep.
Can't buy that. You can't buy that. It's so invaluable to have that network of people always looking around out there. Also, John and Katie, Mike knows them. They bought a ranch out in Lake City after we helped sell their home down here. I helped him sell 2 homes down here when he sold his pool company, moved up to Lake City.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's Farmer John. He's got a 20-acre ranch out there. And John let me know that they had a friend up in the Lake City area that he's known for 40 years. I'm going to call her Pumpkin on the show because that's her nickname, by the way,
Okay.
Mike. Her nickname's
I'll
Pumpkin.
try to remember that.
And John John said that she was really not getting good advice from some mortgage companies about whether she could afford a loan, and the realtors were not really on point. Let's just say it
Or
that way.
she even got pre-approvals, right? Like she went through, got pre-approvals, and then
Found out
deals canceled or deals died on her.
Yeah.
because
she
the
couldn't get
mortgage
approved.
company didn't do enough research on the back end, which I always say that's why there's certain companies we don't like. Well, we question very seriously whether the loan approval is really a loan approval or
Well,
if it's just
if
paper.
you can go
Only
online,
Rockets I want to see are ones taking our people to the moon back.
Yeah,
but if you could go online and spit out a pre-approval letter in about 5 minutes, you might want to, be a little bit leary of that.
If you
Get a second opinion.
if you think you can tap on your cell phone and go into a system and be asked 5 to 10 questions and you get a loan approval,
Yeah, I'm underwritten.
run away screaming into the night. What I love about with Mike, he vets everything, and he used to be an underwriter, Brett, which is a really big deal because he
That's a
sees
huge
problems
benefit.
before they happen. And when you're walking around with Mike's approval, it's like I always tell people, it's like having a cashier's check in your back pocket,
You're good.
and you know exactly what you could afford, and you don't have to worry about the money. Now you're just focusing on, is this a house I want? You don't have to worry. I hope I get the loan. I hope I get the loan. The loan's approved when you have Mike. Mike has been with me almost 10 years now, or about 10 years.
Yeah.
Not one time, not once in 10 years has he ever told us he can get a loan and not close. Not one time.
Because he's
Right.
good at what he does.
Yep,
It's a
Mike
pretty
is
good
good at
track
what he
record.
does.
That's a really
Yeah.
good
Now that
track
doesn't
record.
mean everything always closes
No.
but it's not related to the financing.
Right. It's
Yeah.
not because you get the call, hey, I didn't know about this problem or I didn't know about that problem.
Right.
None of that happens.
And just not to confuse everyone, that doesn't mean I only do loans that are good, right? Like I'm just very good. I'm good at saying whether you could do it and figure out how to do it. And I also, Jim, like a lot of people don't ever get into contract because it's like, hey, you're not ready yet because of this reason. So you're put on a path, right? So it's not 100% because I only take loans at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And Mike is a problem solver too. And that's one of the things about our
Yeah.
team is like we help solve your situation and we always do it in your best interest. It isn't about whether I can get a commission or close a deal or if Mike can get a deal. It isn't about that. It's the best answer for you in your situation. And that's what we work out. And the other thing is that nobody on this team does referral fees. So Mike isn't giving me referral fees. I'm not giving Ross referral fees or Paul Krasker from the law office, Paulie Krasker. We all do our own thing, but we all work together because we're a tight-knit group because we all do the right thing for the customer, and that's the most important part.
That's right. It's like-mindedness. It's
It is.
understanding that the business always comes when you treat people the right way, you give them the right guidance. It's about community building, truly. And that's why this show has lasted. That's why you guys have all risen to the top in your field. The cream always rises, but when the cream is working so well together, it's definitely rising.
It's tasty.
It is. You got any more shout outs? Or are we doing a reset?
No, we're going to do a reset. I'm so looking forward to the next break because after the break, we're going to talk to Brett Caldwell, operating principal for Inspire Network, my new boss.
Cool.
And we're going to talk about his perspective of what's happening in the economy. And I got a couple of industry questions about what's going on because there's some stuff going on I'm not too happy about in the industry.
Uh-huh.
We're going to talk a little bit about that too.
Well, we got a lot to get into. If you have questions, you're welcome to join us as well. 877-927-6969. Of course, if you are not comfortable on the radio, believe me, I understand. That's why I encourage you to go to floridatalkrealestate.com. For 14 plus years now, I've told you, the one-stop real estate shop. It's a team of pros. These are experts in their field, and they do work cohesively together time and time again. Whether you're buying a home, selling a home, you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. If you have an issue and anything that touches the world of real estate, we got a professional for you. One click away. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com on Facebook, on YouTube. I say it all the time. Hit share and like. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. It's Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
The bad news, the brain isn't all that great at hearing stuff and remembering it. The good news, you can watch us too. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Radio 92.1. Here's what's happening with the weather on Real Radio.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl with CBS 12 News. Pleasant conditions for the rest of your Saturday. Still a bit breezy at times with wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour, so probably once again not the best day to head out to the beach or on the boat. Mostly dry conditions, a very isolated 10 to 20% rain chance will stick around in the forecast for coastal communities.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's new Biggie Deals. Choose one of Wendy's new Biggie Deals. At $4, $6, and $8, pick one of the new Biggie Deals you're craving. For a pretty biggie deal, gotta be Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rauch will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rauch, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
You're listening to Real Radio 92.1, and we are an iHeart radio station. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
You can dial in. You're more than welcome. We are live on this 11th day of April. It's 9:39 on a beautiful Saturday morning. Thanks for being with us out there. Timothy's our producer extraordinaire. How you doing today, my dude?
Doing mighty fine. Good morning, gentlemen.
You gonna line them up if they dial in? You
Damn right I will.
All right, good.
Keep me busy over here.
Yeah, he likes to stay busy. We love talking to the folks. You're always welcome to join us if you want to be involved in the conversation at hand or if you have a question. Don't be shy. Of course, if you don't want to be on the radio, always remember floridatalkrealestate.com. You have access to the entire team. Get your answers. Johnny C is me. The team that I refer to is guys like mortgage guys. How about the mortgage guy?
Yeah, just the one.
That has a ring
who were
to
you moonlighting on me?
Has a ring to it. I should use that.
You gave me that name.
I did.
Yeah.
The mortgage guy.
Like, what do you want to be called? I'm like, well, I have to be called something. Way back. All
How
right,
about-
you're
how
Mike.
about Mike?
Mike, the mortgage guy. Okay,
The mortgage guy from
With-
the mortgage
that's
firm.
right.
It's Mike Rauch right there. Pretty good, right? Excellent. Not bad.
thanks, Johnny.
Appreciate you.
Hey, you're the secret to my success.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe for a couple of hours on a Saturday.
Yeah.
but not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on your own now. You got this.
Uh,
The first couple times you're like, what do I do? Just talking to the mic.
into the mic.
Oh, he still doesn't have it down.
I have my
Pointing
headphones.
squarely
No.
at Jim Paola.
It's only been 14 years. Give me another 14 and I'll get a little better.
Jim, just straight into the mic.
We do have a very special guest with us today. Jim has let us know that this is Jim's boss. Like, this is big dog boss too, right?
Oh
like,
my god.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Big Dog Boss.
operating principal from the Inspire Network. I guess Inspire Network now includes Keller Williams Innovations in Boynton Beach. Brett Caldwell's with us. Great to have you with us.
Yeah,
on this
excited to be here,
Saturday.
man.
Are you new to Florida?
I am.
How new to Florida?
Summer 2025.
Do you hire a realtor when you move to Florida?
You know what? I've had hundreds say, "Can I be your realtor?"
That is stones.
Huh?
That's super confidence and
Yeah.
major stones in those people.
No
Can I be your realtor? Really?
The reality of it is there's a lot of real estate agents on every corner, right?
Of course.
And
Especially
certainly
in
in our
Florida.
world, but they're not all great.
No.
And there is a big separation between good and everybody else.
Oh, sure. And production doesn't always tell the story. You can have a lot of production and still not be good at what you do. You just have a lot of production.
Well, production down here is a whole misnomer. They may have a cousin that bought a $20 million house and then go around and tell everybody they're a $20 million producer. They
Sure.
really don't know anything.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah.
No, production is not the biggest stat for sure.
No.
Stats matter though. We always say, look at the back of the baseball card.
There
You
you
got to
go.
know the numbers. Good to have you with us. Can't wait to hear more
Thank you,
from you.
man.
And of course, Jimmy D over here sitting next to his boss. Gotta be weird. I don't know. It's just
No,
me.
not weird.
Just can't imagine doing radio. With
Should we
him.
do a little role play where you have to let Jim go?
We can. We can.
How would this
can.
go? Jim, can you come and sit with me for a minute? Close the door. Close the door.
He invited me to his own departure.
Yeah, to my own demise.
We're going to go in a different direction.
But it was fun. It was 14 years or so we ran this. No, 14 plus years. I told you he runs a top producing Keller Williams team. It's the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovation. Jimmy D, Jim DePola, how you be?
Hey, good. Happy South Florida, everybody. This just made my 15 minutes ago morning. Listen to this, Joe and Linda, which you know very well.
Yeah.
Joe says, hey guys, good morning. Linda and I just celebrated 6 years in our house, April 9th.
Nice.
And the best part is it's totally paid off. I've got singles. Joe and Linda bought their home at the height of COVID. I remember being in my house because everything was shut down. Nobody was working. And me, because I just have to work all the time. I set up one of my guest bedrooms in the house and all I did is work the phones. And you know what, Brett? Everybody was home. So
Yeah.
you could work those phones and call and everybody was home. I talked to so many people I could never get on the phone before. And Joe and Linda, we were deep trying to help them buy their home at the height of COVID. And I remember that we had a problem on a construction issue in the inspection. And I worked that phone for hours. I remember with this one day with the other realtor who was I don't know if it was the realtor or the seller being difficult for us, but we jammed it through. And now it's 6 years later and they paid the house off and they were first-time homeowners and they were in their 50s when they bought the house.
That's
Wow.
Is that awesome or what?
That's
I just
awesome.
love that story. So thank you, Joe, for sharing that. They've referred out.
Oh, you said
Many
the height
people.
of COVID. I'm looking here. They closed April 2020.
Yep.
And we went on lockdown
just shut
in
down.
March of
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah, It was crazy town. It was like bizarre world. And I'll never forget that experience of sitting in that guest bedroom. Wasn't even an office and just working the phones because I didn't know what was going to happen next. And you got to put food on the table, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't know what was going to happen with the real estate market. Nobody predicted in April of 2020 that we were going to have this big boom the next year, this
Right.
crazy boom that we had.
Right.
So anyway, that just made my day. I'm sorry. So thank you, Joe.
That
Thank
is
you.
cool news.
Yeah, that is awesome, Joe and
Congratulations.
Linda. Yeah. So Let's get into understanding who Brett is. I don't really. Keller Williams is such a big company, and there's so many things going on with it. That's why I stayed at Keller Williams all these years. People don't know this, but the first year we started this show, I was at 4 different brokerages that year. So I started off with 100% commission brokerage, and then I went over to a big company, Remax, right,
Yeah,
which
I
was
remember
number one.
Remax. That was early in the show. Really
Yeah,
early in the show.
Remax. And then after Remax, wasn't really crazy about the training. I remember spending a lot of money on this one class, and it was virtual training because I didn't want to travel to the event. And it was the whole delay on the video and everything is like I spent all this money. I'm like, I didn't get anything out of this, and I'm a very into education. So then I went to a boutique realty company because they said they were going to give us special treatment. And as soon as we got there, I'm like, where are we going to get all this training? It's like, oh, go to the regional board for Realtors Association Palm Beaches. They have all that training. I was like, I could do that anywhere. And then finally, we were doing so many short sales back then, Brett. The first year we were on the show 52 weeks, and I booked 51 short sales my first year as a realtor. No regular sales, only short sales. So we became short sale experts thanks to the law office of Paola Krasker and Trident Title and Short Sale Innovations.
Yeah.
And we got really good at it. We had a 92% close rate. But we got so big that the title company we were working with couldn't handle the amount of deals we were doing. So then we moved over to a different title company, and they said, we'll only work with you and sponsor the radio show if you move over to Keller Williams. And I'm like, Keller who?
Yeah.
And I didn't really care about the brokerage. I just cared about being in production. So I said,
not the
sure.
radio show.
No, I didn't have a radio show at that point. Oh no, we just got we had the radio show. And then we were like, you know what? We're going to go over to Keller Williams. And I'll never forget this. The first day I sat down, the operating principal there, he says to me, so you booked 51 short sales in your first, or 51 listings your first year, which is pretty, I didn't know it at the time, but that was pretty unusual. And
One
then,
a week?
Yeah, I basically go on the show.
Took a week off. Took a week off.
Yeah, 1 week. Somebody didn't call me 1 week. I was really bummed out about that 1 week. So he was talking to me and he goes, so if you had 51 listings, you should probably have between 60 and 120 buyers from those listings. And me and my business partner Rob at the time were like, yeah, we don't do buyers agents because that's what we were taught, right, from the other brokerages. He's like, no, all the buyers you're getting from these listings you have. Is like, no, we don't work buyers. He goes, you didn't even take a referral fee? What's that? Because we didn't know anything about that. So he calculated how much potential money we lost from not working those buyers.
From not knowing what you
It was
should
so
know.
crazy.
Yeah.
I was struggling 9 months to close a short sale. Back then it was 9 months because they didn't have the equator system or anything back then. And then I'm struggling to close these deals for 9 months. And I had buyers like Tic Tacs and I was just throwing them out the window.
Yeah.
Right. So we learned a lot at Keller Williams. And that's why I've been there ever since, because of the training.
Well, it's constant learning. I mean, really.
Yeah. Now, Brett, not only does he own brokerages in 4 different states, he also is high up in the level called MAPS coaching, right? Which is, I don't know what MAPS stands for. Keller Williams has too many acronyms, but it's for coaching for agents to get better. And I've been part of MAPS coach out of the 13 or 14 years. Probably 10 of the 14 years I've been in MAPS coaching.
Didn't I do a little bit of MAPS?
You did some
when I
MAPS
was on
at
your
one
team?
point. Yep.
Yeah.
When Johnny was on the
Full-time,
team, you did MAPS with us.
Yeah.
And MAPS is a great thing that it gives you accountability and it gives you a focus because every single week you're meeting with them and you have to say whether you did what you said you were going to do or not. And they also gave you ideas to grow and get better and to refine and become streamlined. So these are a few things that you can get at other brokerages. A lot of them offer a lot of online stuff, but I'm more of a hands-on in the classroom, want to ask questions kind of thing. So Brett has been heavily involved with Keller Williams in that. So Brett, your background is that Did you start in Atlanta or did you start in a different state? Because you
No,
have
no, no. I
brokerages-
grew up in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, you're a Texas guy. I wasn't sure.
I see your boots over there, Jim, and I kind of was a little envious of the boots, but
Johnny, did you hear that, Dallas?
Go Cowboys.
I know. I was gonna say Johnny's gonna
I
love
either
it. Texas Tech.
You went
You're
to
a Red Raider?
I'm a Red Raider.
Ooh, I'm not.
I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan.
I knew we were being
And some people either give me fist bumps or jokes, but either way, it's like
I'm a,
Johnny,
I'm
you're
a
married.
Commanders fan. over here.
You're married, Johnny.
uh-huh.
No, but so you started out in Dallas, and then you controlled one of the brokerages out there for Keller Williams, right?
I do.
And you turned it into, I think you grew to 600 agents. I think we only got 350 or something in our office, or 300. And then you had $1.8 billion in sales in 1 year.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
I
true?
took over that brokerage in 2007. And if you've been around this show long enough, you know that the economic cycles go up and they go down. And the Great Recession obviously started in 2008, which is what led to all these short sales. And I was a young leader at that time, and we rode that wave. We went up, we went down, and then we came all the way back. And I think what you're mentioning, when I left Dallas, Texas in 2017 and moved to Atlanta, Georgia, that brokerage was doing $1.5 billion in production, and it had about 625 agents.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
Now, did you keep that office in Dallas when you moved to Atlanta?
No, I own a different office in Dallas, Texas today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today than
Yeah.
where you started out there.
Yeah.
And then why did you move to Atlanta?
So I was in Dallas, Texas, young leader, wanting to expand, wanting to go do big things in life. And I got a tap on the shoulder, said, hey, we want to move you to Atlanta, Georgia to run the Southeast region for Keller Williams. And they put me in that leadership track to run the Southeast region, which was at the time is Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. I think people in Florida take issue that we're the Southeast, but that's how they carved it up, right? So that's actually how I ended up in Atlanta. And I did 3 years working for Keller Williams Realty on a regional role, and then stepped out of that because it was the corporate side of real estate. And I like being in talk shows like this. I like talking to agents. I like being on the ground level.
So you weren't in the trenches enough.
No, I was only talking to leaders.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get back on the ground game with the agents. So I ended up taking over a group of offices in Atlanta, Georgia in 2020.
And then you moved on to Atlanta, Alabama.
I have an expansion office out of Georgia. You know, they're next door to each other in Alabama. That's part of the network of the Metro Atlanta hub.
And then why did you choose Florida as a new place to expand to?
I mean, let's follow the money, right?
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
for sure. Yeah, you're
Not
right.
really, but I mean, here's the
kidding,
reality
no.
is
My good buddy Jeff bought in Florida, right? Bezos, you know.
yeah. Oh, you're good, buddy. He's my neighbor. No, I like major metropolitan areas. I mean, Dallas, Texas was major metropolitan. Atlanta was major metropolitan. Miami, Broward, Palm Beach is kind of the major metropolitan area of South Florida. And I feel like real estate thrives in major metropolitan areas, but not all major metropolitan areas. And South Florida, in my research, specifically Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach, it's a little bit of a unique economic climate that's separate from just the entire state of Florida.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. I've been saying for a few years, Brett, that Florida is, and this is before we started the real talk about the K-shaped economy that's been popping up. Everybody's talking about the K-shaped economy. I've been saying for years that Florida is becoming way more gentrified, and I'm using that as a euphemism because I'm more of a middle class guy, blue collar middle class guy. But what I'm seeing is that so much wealth is moving down here right now that it really is a unique kind of market. And I feel like we're becoming more like, and tell me if I'm wrong about this, but I feel like we're heading towards like becoming more like Martha's Vineyard or Cape Cod and things like that, where you have a lot of service people coming in to service very wealthy people. but the people really aren't living anywhere close to that area, and they're commuting a lot. And that's what we're kind of seeing. And I'm also seeing a lot of middle class people, and a lot of, you don't see this in the news that much, but I know that there's a pretty big exodus going on right now in Florida from middle class people saying this area is unaffordable, and they're moving either to Central Florida, North Central Florida, or completely out of the state, Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, those kind of states. Do you feel that I'm wrong about that?
I don't know that it's 100% anything, to be honest. There's probably some case studies that would show that there's migration trends based on affordability. But the reality is every part of the country right now is dealing with affordability challenges. So it's kind of like the analogy of traffic. If somebody was in Dallas, Texas, they would always say, oh, the traffic's horrible. And then you go visit another city and they're like, oh, the traffic's so bad here. It's bad everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, and so everybody tends to get hyper focused on their local market.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is nationally, affordability is a challenge everywhere.
Can I ask you about that? Because I'm only Florida, right? I've been down here since '74, so I'm a Florida guy, right?
Yeah.
So I only know what it's like down here, kind of, other than what I read all across the country. What would make things affordable problem in Kansas or Iowa or Kentucky? They're not getting the kind of price appreciation we're getting in Florida, right? So what would make things unaffordable out there for them? Or maybe there is.
They are getting the similar price
They
appreciation.
are, really?
Yes.
Really?
If you look at the country on a national scale, price appreciation is not as drastically different in different parts of the country as you might think. Meaning, yes, there's certain areas or certain price points that get much more price appreciation in based on the demographic or the attractiveness of that specific area. But the broader you get, like if you get out to Broward County, you get out to Palm Beach County, you get out to Miami-Dade County at that scale, the price appreciation is not that much different than other big metropolitan areas around the country.
That's interesting, because I don't think that, because we always talk when we see, like, for example, if you go into, we have this system in our MLS called IMAP, and then IMAP breaks out the last 5 years of the tax bill from the property appraiser, and also how much it increased or decreased each year. So the first year, which I guess would be 2020 in this 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 2021. Sorry. 2021 would be the base year, and it would say 0. And then it would show you how much they felt that the property values went up in on their algorithm for that house in that neighborhood, how much it went up or down each year. And like I just looked at one yesterday, the base year 2021 was 0. And then 2022, 32% increase in value. And then 2023, it was like 17% increase in value. And then the next 2 years, this one didn't have any negatives, because we usually see 25 as a negative. 2024 and 2025, 4% each year. Normal appreciation, from what I was always taught and looking at stats, is 3 to 5% a year. When you have 32% property value increase according to the property appraiser, to me that's unsustainable and not real. So tell me about that. Am I wrong about it? So you're seeing that same thing in Iowa and Kentucky? I'm not picking on anybody.
No. We saw price appreciation at double-digit scale in almost the entire country. I can't say 100%, but if you just look at a national scale, the period coming out of COVID created. Remember, Mike, what was the mortgage rate in 2022?
It was still up in 2022. I would say it started to come down. So somewhere in the 6s. You give me a month, I could tell you.
Yeah, but it came down to what? I'm being general here for a minute. Like it came down into the 3s, right? And
2s for some people.
Actually,
there were some A credit 2s, right?
Well, January 7th, 2021, because that's our anniversary. January 3rd, 2021, we were at 2.65, which was the lowest rate ever recorded in the history for Freddie Mac.
Yeah.
It was 2.65 in 2021.
And that was not the rate specific to Florida. It was everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And that created a low cost of money, and it caused a lot of people coming out of COVID to think about their life, going, man, I want to have a house with a study in it because I want to work from home now, or I've always wanted that backyard, or I wanted the outdoor kitchen, or whatever it is. Everybody started going internal in their life, and it moved them into real estate.
Yeah,
And
2022 was when rates basically went from 3 to 7 that year.
Yeah.
Right. Like that was the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that period was just totally crazy.
And in that perspective of it wasn't just us, it
Yeah,
was everybody.
that's
Shows you how everything kind of caught fire in their way.
Yeah.
Fire for us is a different fire than a fire in
Yeah.
the middle of.
So you got to think
Nebraska.
about it. The country went into an inflationary period.
Mhm.
It did South Florida go into an inflationary period? Yeah, but so did the whole country, and that was kind of the byproduct of that whole boom that we went through. And that alone should tell you it's not just here; it's more national than just here.
It also kind of demonstrates your setup question was like, how could some of these other parts of the country be not affordable, right? Why do they have an affordability crisis? We have an affordability crisis here, but how is that, applying across the nation? And remember, at that time, like a lot of people were coming from the Northeast down to Florida because it was so unaffordable for them up there, and they're like, you can get much more house for the dollar down in South Florida compared to New York, right?
Correct.
So it's always like, what's affordable in your local area, right?
Right.
Like you can be that. I'm never going to be able to buy in X city,
Correct.
right? When you live in X city and you see that the houses that you want to buy are just unattainable for you.
Yeah.
For whatever
I
reason.
feel like affordability is a buzzword, right? And you got to realize affordability is the relationship between the median income of the area and the median price house.
Mhm.
But when you say median, you got to remember half are above that and half are below that.
Yeah.
So it's just a relationship with how people are paid in that certain area and what the cost of real estate is at the median level in that area. So the challenge is, you may have a lot of wealthy people, but then there's also all the people that have the day jobs that are doing in the service of that area, or working at the gas station, or working at the restaurant, or working at the shopping mall. And the challenge is they want to live where they work.
Right.
And the unique thing that I've discovered in South Florida is obviously affordability, the further west you gets better.
Mhm.
And it's unaffordable the further east you get. So it's not that we have unaffordable real estate. It's the question of whether somebody's willing to drive.
Yeah, it's the commute.
It's
That's
the
so
commute.
true. And we saw that down here. Like when we first started the show, people that couldn't afford homes in Palm Beach County or Broward County, they can get a really nice single-family home in Port St. Lucie. But that meant maybe a 45-minute commute to an hour commute, depending on where. And people were willing to make that sacrifice to be a homeowner. Now the funny part is it's kind of shifted north, where people find that Port St. Lucie or St. Lucie County isn't that affordable anymore, and they're moving up to Vero right now, Indian River, the next natural Palm Bay.
Yeah.
Palm Bay.
Ever since I've been in Florida, that the affordable homes are north or west has been a theme, right? Since I've been here, you either had to go a little bit further north or a little bit further west, right away from the coast.
It's true.
Well, let's end this break, because I want to ask on the next break. After the break, I want to ask Brett questions about the changes in the real estate industry, because I got a lot of questions about that, Brett. I want to talk to you about.
I'm here for you.
From the consumer point of view, but I want to just, since we're talking about affordability, things can be affordable down here, guys, and I just want to point that out. Just look at
100%.
some of the listings that I have right now for people listening, saying I can't buy a home down here. Let me give you some examples. I have on the market. Hold on. We have a 4-bedroom, 3-bath townhome, right? Huge. It's almost 2,100 square feet under air in a really great neighborhood in Boynton Beach, all ages community. HOA is around $300 a month, so it's not like a deal breaker. And it's about 2 miles from the beach, right? And it's immediately rentable, so you could buy it and then turn it into rental if you want to do that later, or you just buy for a bigger family. Only $445,000, which is very affordable for such a large townhome.
You said
Uh,
4
really-
bedroom?
A 4-bedroom,
Nice.
3-bath, right?
Wow.
And it has a bedroom on the downstairs, which a lot of people want. They want to
Yeah.
have 1 bedroom downstairs.
Sure.
So that's a total affordable situation. If you get down payment assistance, the down payment and closing costs are going to be not that bad. Maybe a little bit more than first class security for the equivalent of a 4-bedroom rental. You can get into this unit. We have another one at 55 and over on Hutchinson Island, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Now, I don't know if you know Hutchinson Island yet.
I do.
Brett? Okay.
Sure.
So water everywhere. Awesome seafood restaurants. Johnny's lived there or at least vacation there. I don't know if I could say
Both,
live.
yeah,
Both.
yeah.
Okay.
It's probably the biggest
Both up
draw.
there.
to
His
the
life's
island.
Yeah, the
vacation.
biggest draw is Johnny used to live
Yeah.
here. It's like Johnny slept there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Johnny's way.
on Hutchinson Island, really great area. If you want to feel like you're on vacation every day and just be surrounded by water, you could just hang out on that island and you have multi-millionaires to you to the east and a little bit north. But right here, this little affordable conclave, you can get this 55 and over, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, nicely appointed for $195,000, under $200,000. So even if you were somebody up north who didn't want to spend the big bucks to come down here and just want a pied de terre, no place to crash for a while, and then just leave it and close it up and not worry about anything, this is a great unit under $200,000.
Yeah, I love that spot too.
And-
Did you
and-
say Pierre de Terre?
I said Pierre. Am I saying that right?
Pierre de
Perfect
Terre.
pronunciation.
Yeah,
It's,
did I say? Brett probably knows it better than me. Is that saying that right?
Pierre de Terre.
You haven't heard that before?
Nope.
I heard this from Palm Beach agents. I'm learning that from Palm Beach agents. It means like a place that you just
It's your place in the
a
city.
part-time. Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
it's a
your little
stabbing cabin.
part-time.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, stabbing cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Pierre de Terre.
Now, the only reason I know that is because Jim said it. He said it one time before, and we
made
had
fun
a-
of me.
We had a similar like. What did you just
They
say?
make fun of my
'Cause I remember it
vocabulary.
was yeah. It's
I
like
They make
love
fun
it.
of my vocabulary.
up
Pierre
in,
de
you know,
Terre.
New York City, you would have your apartment in the city, so you didn't have to
Yeah,
go,
so you'd have to commute.
commute to the
Right.
island or whatever.
Yeah, where you
Yeah.
take your scoots to Mars.
How you doing?
I just want to
Yeah,
wrap
wow.
up with.
Wait, do you advertise it that
one more.
way?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to
Pierre's de
pronounce.
Terre.
I don't know how to spell it. I'd have to look it up. And then we also have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath property at another townhome in a great area of Palm Beach Gardens called Sandalwood. Sandalwood is a really great community. I've bought and sold a lot of properties there for first-time home buyers. Really great place to go.
Totally.
This is really nicely fixed up, newer stainless steel appliance packages, newer kitchen, newer bathrooms, freshly painted, huge courtyard, open courtyard, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We have that one out for $345,000. So you don't have to be some type of millionaire or something to come down here to buy. There are affordable homes out there if you look, and you don't have the attitude that you can't.
And we,
You know.
Jim, we have buyers out there. You did shout outs. A lot of these buyers are in that, call it, I'll do a big window. It's like 300,000 to 500,000 kind of price point.
Mhm.
And there's inventory out there.
Mhm.
It's a little bit competitive, right? It's still, especially with the 3 in front of it. It's very competitive, single family home, Palm Beach County, Broward County, very difficult to find, but they're out there. And we have buyers out there successfully navigating that market and getting into contract. And it goes back to that affordability question. Well, like one is like, what do you qualify for? The other one is, what can you afford? And that's the real affordability is a buzzword, but what can you afford? What's your budget for a home? You have to be able to evaluate that. You have to analyze that and know what price point you need to be at to find. And just don't give up because everyone says they're not out there. Or it's so hard to buy. You can't buy or whatever. It's a process. Get your stuff lined up. Talk to a mortgage professional. Get lined up with a real estate agent and see what's out there. And be ready when that one does come across
Slide
your
in,
path.
right.
You're ready. Like you've already done all the homework. You're ready to make an offer when the right home presents itself because they are out there.
Oh, we've seen such consistency in the rates for a year and a half.
Yeah,
at
they've
least
been
a
pretty
year.
stable.
Pretty consistent. I
Mhm.
mean, fluctuation 0.4-ish.
Even over this last month where we've had, basically a 0.5% increase over 4
Mhm.
weeks, we're still kind of in the zone we've been in
the zone
for 18 months.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that consistency, if you're not lined up, are we going to break?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're not lined up with this kind of consistent world when it comes to your rate, you're making a mistake. You got to get with the team, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Have the consultation with Mike. It is so painless. I'm telling you, I've done it a few times.
Over the phone.
But get an understanding of what the real number is, the monthly obligation. Everybody focuses on what the interest rate is. Yes, that's an important part of the equation. There's other things that go into this. What can you get? What down payment assistance? Maybe there's Smart Start. There's all kinds of things that got to come into play for you then to determine, can I be a legit buyer in this market? What can I afford? But don't fill in the blanks on your own. Get an understanding. Get the app. Get Mike's app. Once you're locked in, then you're home searching from the comfort of your home. See, let me see. Oh, that one fixed. Let me move your little margins around. Slide this over here on the app. I know because I've done it. I've been doing it. We're waiting for that home to pop up. I need you to probably adjust my rate on my app now that I'm mentioning it.
I don't know if I do.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not.
But long story short, don't just fill in the blanks on your own. Get with a team of pros. Understand where you're at. If you're not there now, there's always a path. Again, I've been on that road too. That water looks deep, y'all. But when you take that first step out, you're like, oh, it's only ankle deep. Don't be scared. Take that first step out. Get an understanding where you're at. Go with the best of the best. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com on Facebook, on YouTube. Find out what you don't know. Let's see if we can get you in a home sooner than you know. Buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home, we don't know what to do. Let's get you to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. So much to get into on a Saturday. Thanks for being with us. Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
The visual aid you need for all the freaky stuff we talk about on the radio. Find it at realradio921.com. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl with CBS 12 News. Pleasant conditions for the rest of your Saturday. Still a bit breezy at times with wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour, so probably once again not the best day to head out to the beach or on the boat. Mostly dry conditions, a very isolated 10 to 20% rain chance will stick around in the forecast for coastal communities.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Save during mulch week at Lowe's with 5 pounds of Stay Green Premium 2 cubic foot mulch for $10. Plus get select 1 pint annuals for $1. Valid through 4/15 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rauch will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rauch, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim Paola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
And 877-927-6969. You're more than welcome. We got about 45 minutes remaining on this Saturday, April 11th. Jimothy, how are you?
Doing it mighty fine. Good morning.
That's our producer extraordinaire. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, thanks for being with us. What's taking you so damn long?
Yeah, where you been?
We thank you for being with us. If you enjoyed the live stream from time to time and you haven't been checking it out, always remember you can go on Facebook and YouTube, Florida Talk Real Estate on both, and check out the live stream. Consume away on YouTube, Florida Talk Real Estate LLC. Ton of informational chunk videos. And when you're on the old Facebook there, always hit share and like. Thank you very much because you can change lives, including your very own with the pros, Florida Talk Real Estate. Johnny C is me. There's one of the pros. There's Mike Rauch, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm.
Thank you.
Pros Pro.
That means I'm a professional. That means professionals will rely on me
The professionals
for their
go to you.
professional needs.
That's right.
I like that.
Just do you know who Josh Freese is?
Oh, why does that sound familiar?
Because he's a legend.
Oh, okay. I should know.
Josh Freese is the drummer's drummer.
I was gonna say, is he a keyboard player? So he's a drummer.
The drummer's drummer. And Josh Freese just put out a post the other day on Instagram. It was Coachella years ago. A Perfect Circle was playing like for one of the first acts on the first day. They didn't even have an album out yet. Why were they on? Because Tool was headlining the next night. So the lead man, Maynard James Keenan, he had a little bit of pull. So he got Perfect Circle on. And Josh Freese told this story about how he jumped off stage and then flew to San Francisco real quick. There was going to be a proposal at a No Doubt show. It's just a cool story. And my response was the legend's legend, because all the legends look to Josh Freese. Like,
okay.
Man, you're a legend.
Yeah.
You're the pros pro. Do you know Josh Freese?
I know of Josh.
All right,
Freese.
good. I'm still going to allow Brett to be my best friend then.
I've been
Hasn't out
yet.
Jim probably knows him. What's your favorite album from those guys? No.
Josh Freese just got off tour with 9 Inch Nails, and arguably the best tour of the last year. I missed it, sadly, but everything I've seen, I watch a bunch on YouTube, but it's been amazing. I hope they keep that going. They got new music coming too. And I know Jim right now is like, I don't care.
I saw it.
Did you? Was it as good as I?
It was pretty amazing.
I get chills just even thinking about it. So you got to spend a night with Josh Freese.
Yep.
Good for you.
Cool.
That's Brett Caldwell. He's the operating principal of the Inspire Network. And Jimmy D's new boss, by the way, too. It's great to have you in studio. We became, he's a Cowboy fan, went to Texas Tech. He's a Red Raider. big music enthusiast, and obviously really involved in the world of real estate. So I just keep getting closer and closer to him over here. I'm like, I bet you he's got connections to the Cowboys.
He's the operating principal. So at the office, are you the principal? Is that what they call you?
Basically, owner operator. Yeah.
Like, I need you to go to the principal's office.
Principal's office.
Yeah.
Jim invited me to this show. He's like, come to my office. Oh, now it's the principal's office.
Of course, that's Jimmy D. Jindapola, our fearless leader. 14 plus years now. I've told you he runs a top producing Keller Williams team. This is the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. Boynton Beach, the new acquisition of Brett Caldwell.
Yeah, I'm excited. Brett, after the show, you got to give me a 5-minute tutorial about all the training stuff that you guys do in the morning and everything. I'm missing out on all that. I'm not going to the morning show, I don't even know what to call them.
Calisthenics.
Every Monday, we do an industry update, and we study the market.
I know you do.
Yeah.
And he gives us talking points and understand what's going on in the market to give us perspective. And there's so much other training. And another thing I want to pick his brain about later is all the AI stuff, because he's really big into AI and AI education. So
Nice.
I'm really looking forward to plug some of that stuff in
Absolutely.
So you every Monday you do like a deep dive share over the market in the last week or where we're at right now, and this is with you and
Yeah, we're not as cool as you.
Well,
this is
not a
this is
competition.
very done right. We just pull up a spreadsheet and go, here's what the numbers are.
So this is a weekly thing, and you're in Texas and Georgia and Alabama and Florida. So there's 4 big in the metropolitan areas in these states. So 4 states, 4 big metros. And how long you been in the industry?
Since 1999,
Okay,
27 years.
So a little bit of experience.
A little bit.
The markets in the 14 years we've done this show, the markets have just been topsy-turvy. I guess in the world of real estate, there is the consistency is there's no consistency, right?
Correct.
Up, down, middle, sideways, like there's constant movement. It could be
It's like
sideways
the
movement
ocean.
to the
Someday there's big waves, someday it's flat.
So you've been there, done that, you've experienced a lot. Let's talk about our marketplace currently and kind of what you see. We'll talk specifically Florida, but on a national scale too, like what you see moving forward with your experience, your deep dives on the regular, the training, the depth that you have of knowledge. Let's peer into this a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
You just moved into the South Florida market. You just got into Boynton Beach. There's a purpose there, right? You're clearly seeing, you're a businessman, so you're seeing potential here. This, to me, that combination tells anybody that's looking for the South Florida market, like we're probably in a good place. Brett Caldwell's just moving into our marketplace.
Put some weight on that. No, I mean the potential here is huge.
Well, it doesn't. You're not stepping into something you're seeing tanking unless you are.
No.
Wait a minute.
No.
Did you come into? I'm sorry.
I mean, look, there's parts of the market that are a little bit underperforming. There's parts of the market that are overperforming. But by and all, the market as a whole has huge projections over the next 5 to 10 years. And I said it at the beginning of the show, you got to follow the money. Money is moving here at an astronomical rate. And so follows real estate, meaning when companies move into an area, they tend to build houses for the employees to live there. When industry moves into an area, there tends to follow jobs. When money moves into an area, they buy stuff. They buy furniture. They buy cars. They spend money in that economy, which causes that economy to go faster.
Sure.
And by and large, I mean, real estate, like I said, it's like the ocean. There's big waves and little waves, and there's days it's flat and there's days it's stormy. But the reality is it's still a body of water that exists, that we all live and we reside in real estate. And it's always been the biggest wealth builder of America, right? Like people build more wealth through real estate than anything else in the world.
So I hearken to a time when we were in this radio show the first couple of years. Jim was really stern with me. I was never going to get married. I was never going to buy a house. And this is just life experience. I don't see marriages work out. the housing bus just went, like, I'm like, this is nothing I'm interested in. And Jim pinned me down. He's like, you have to buy a house. You're missing this moment right now. Biggest blessing that I've ever been handed, next to my wife and daughter, right? I mean, clearly, but there are moments that you have to take advantage of. And I was blessed to have somebody push me hard. It took 9 months of credit repair, but I had the Florida Talk Real Estate team to get me there.
Yeah.
We've been in our home 12 years now, September. It was huge, but you have to, you know, timing it is impossible, but take advantage of the right times. It sounds like, you know, we always say the best time to buy a home is when it's right for you and your family, Mike. I mean, that's the best time. But it sounds like, as you're talking about this market in South Florida, the next 5 years, you expect a bigger place. If you think it's unaffordable now, I would imagine the way you're describing things in 5 years, our affordability will probably be a little less. So you shouldn't be trying to stall out right now. Now's your time. If you're on the sidelines, let's get you in the game.
So let me explain a little fundamental thing about real estate. When you buy real estate, what most people don't think about is they actually lock their cost of living for the next 30 years of their life. Now, granted, insurance will go up a little bit over time. Taxes will go up a little bit over time.
That's homesteaded.
The principal and interest is locked. Your cost of living is pretty much locked in your life for the next 30 years of your life. What do you think your income's going to do over the next 30 years? What do you think your life is going to change? So affordability eventually will catch you, but you do have to be able to afford it, right?
Yes, you do. And that's the bottom line. But with the projections that you have, and how do you feel about it, Jim? Do you kind of see the same things that Brett sees?
Well, what I'm seeing is I've never seen luxury real estate being as strong as it is right now. And actually, I'm starting to get more into the luxury market right now because of that, because there's just a huge demand of what's happening, this whole Wall Street South stuff and everything that we've talked about in the past. So there's a lot of demand for that. There's also a lot of demand. It's like, it is a K-shaped economy. There's also a lot of demand for people in that $300,000 to $500,000 range. That there's really strong desire I've seen in the last 6 months. People that are coming to me that are buying, that are at that price point, they're not talking about interest rates anymore, or is it a good time to buy or a bad time to buy? They've been waiting so long on the sidelines. They're just like, I don't care. I got to get into a house now. Help me, Jim. Right? And that's what's happening. Are you seeing that across the country where people aren't so worried about the numbers? As long as they could afford something that they want to buy, they're out there doing that right now? Right?
Look, I don't know about you gentlemen, but the first house I bought was a dog.
Me too.
And we went through a period of time where nobody wanted to buy a property that maybe wasn't perfect. Like, I guess they all grew up in apartments that were absolutely perfect. They all watched HGTV shows that said everything had to be beautiful. We all look at magazines that have luxury, beautiful properties in them. But the reality is, getting into the game's more important than the beauty contest. And if you just back to like Jim talking to you about buying real estate, if you study Americans and American net worths, somebody that owns real estate versus somebody that doesn't own real estate, it's not even in the same ballpark.
Right.
Because real estate puts net worth on people's asset sheet. And it just getting into the game is so much more important than waiting so long to get the perfect, beautiful showpiece property.
Yeah, like Brett, when Johnny bought, I don't want to get into numbers, but his house is worth double what he paid for it when he bought it in 2016 or 2017.
Yeah.
It's double now.
Which means his net worth is
right.
that much more.
And when
now.
Johnny went into that deal, he scraped every dime he had to get the down payment and the closing costs. Now, if he were to sell that same home, now he put money into it and everything, so it's not pure profit. But if he were to sell that home and to go buy another home when he's ready to do that, he's going to have 6-figure down payment ready to put down on a bigger house. And that's what I call getting in the game. If you're not in the game, you don't have that. If you were renting that whole time, how long would it take you a person to save $150,000 based on their salary and traditional expenses. So that's what a lot of people, they don't see the bigger picture. And basically, you're forcing yourself to have a savings account in a way, because the appreciation you get over time and buying down the mortgage and having more equity in your house, it's almost like a forced savings plan for people. And you're right, study after study, Brett, show that people that own a home versus people that continue to rent, same income, same type of job, let's say, over a period of 20 years, the people that own a home usually have, I think, 60% more asset value than people that didn't buy the home. Is that true?
Because
Something
of the
like
house.
that.
I don't know
of the
that percentage, but the reality is just getting into the game and owning real estate, even if it's just your primary residence, it has you in the game of building wealth.
Yes, for sure. So let's talk about like what's happening today. So people today, right now, especially over what's happened over the last month with the Iranian war and the inflation, you just saw the reports come out for the inflation came out for the first time. It went up dramatically. We went up almost a whole point, largely to gas. But what do you think is going to be happening in the real estate market? And should people worry about being concerned about buying right now or selling in this market? What do you see the trends to
I actually
be?
think people should be super motivated to go buy right now. And here's what I would make my case around that, in the sense that this year started with a whole lot of optimism. All economists were predicting the real estate market was going to move much faster in 2026 than it has over the last couple of years. And we started that way. We started with the January and February months were really moving much faster than they had in the previous couple of years. And we started the year with a great interest rate. Like
we even got to 5%.
Yeah. But like 1 week,
it was 5.98, 5.98, but it was
0.99999
had a 5.
That's right. And then this Iran conflict happened.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thing that threw the wrench in the middle of this equation. But the reality is, even if the Iran conflict extends itself for an extended period of time, we're still going to have a good year in real estate. It's not going to be as great as we had projected pre this conflict in Iran. But if it extends for an extended period of time, which if I had to guess, I'd be like every other American. Who knows? It's a crystal ball, right? But I actually will predict that if the Iran conflict resolves itself in a short time frame, I think there's going to be a surge of real estate after that's over. I think the rates are going to slowly come down, and I think people's consumer confidence is going to move back into the market, and the market's going to move faster. So we could have a really interesting summer if this Iran conflict resolves itself sooner than later. And here's my case. If that happens, you missed your opportunity, because your opportunity is now before that happens. I'm not predicting that's going to happen. I would be naive to go out and make any kind of predictions around anything like that. All I'm saying is opportunity is always when the masses aren't in the market.
I call that the buffalo herd.
Yeah.
We say that on the show all the time. Don't be part of the buffalo herd. Be smarter than that, because by the time everybody wakes up and says, "Oh, it's time to buy," a lot of times for people, you kind of miss the opportunity of getting the best deal. Right now is the best deal for buyers, in my opinion, because prices really haven't dropped that much. They've kind of held tight. But sellers that are selling and are serious about selling, they're motivated, and they might, we talked about down payment assistance program and the Smart Start with the mortgage firm and those things. But sellers will give you money too. And sellers, in order to get the house sold, will give you money to pay for roofs or repairs or down payment closing costs or buy down interest rates.
That's why you have to
make the
a
home.
good realtor, though, a good negotiator, somebody that can work that deal for you, though. I mean, you
But-
have to have that.
Right.
Yep.
But if everybody wakes up and go, this is a great time to buy, like, my example
Once
is
it's hitting the news and
COVID,
stuff,
then it's too late,
yeah.
because then the sellers aren't going to have to do that. And another thing, I think, well, we'll get into that. What other trends do you think are happening, Brett, with the state of the national economy and how it affects the real estate market?
Well, you got to realize that we're in a tale of four markets in South Florida. You've got luxury single family and median home price single family. And you have luxury condo and median price condos. And they all are interacting a little bit differently right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Luxury is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And people with money spend money. They make decisions more on emotion than they do on logic. And that market is moving very fast. Both the luxury condo and the luxury single family. Single family is hotter than the condo, but there's still an enormous amount of luxury going in both sectors. On the median price single family, it's strong right now. It's having 50-year historic price appreciation, meaning over the last 50 years, price appreciation has averaged 4% a year. So the single family median price market is still seeing price appreciation anywhere from 2 to 5%, depending on the neighborhood, the city, and all that stuff in South Florida.
So I have to ask you this because I hear this all the time. I hear homeowners say 2%, 3%, that stinks. You know what I mean? Appreciation. I'm like, that's normal appreciation. People in Florida seems like they have this totally unrealistic opinion of how fast their house can appreciate.
No, but it's been real.
Well, for little spurts.
Yeah. So,
but the big
tell
picture
somebody
is
it's
not.
unrealistic, but they're like, but this is not normal, right? We've been 10% or 8%,
Yeah.
whatever it is. So,
Do you feel like from working all these different markets that Floridians have a different outlook about appreciation and things?
No, I think they're human beings having a human experience. All right, let's be honest.
It's everywhere. Okay.
I mean, you got to think about let's say you go to college and you take all these classes and you have one class that just beats you up. The reality is once you're out of college, nobody cared about that class. It was what was your overall GPA?
Mm-hmm.
Price appreciation is the same thing. You're going to have 1 year that it's great, and you're going to have 1 year that it's a little bit off. The question is, what was the price appreciation over the 10 years you owned that property?
Yep.
That's what matters.
Yes.
And it's I'm going to keep using the analogy because we're here in South Florida. It's the ocean. There's going to be a year where it's big, and there's going to be a year where it's a small little wave, and then there's going to be a year that it's flat. You just don't want it going backwards. And what's unique about this market and why I'm excited about this market, there are parts of Florida that had price depreciation last year, not this area. Now,
Right, that's true.
and I say that in a general sense, there are pockets and segments that did have price depreciation. Median price condos is one of them. But overall, the average price appreciation in the area went forward last year.
As Johnny knows, it's block by block, street by street sometimes in order to know your exact numbers.
And really, Brett's talking, it makes me think of what I've said for years is really, truly the value of your home only really matters when you're selling it and when you're refinancing it. But historically, you're going to see appreciation. I mean, that's just the facts unless the bottom falls out.
Gary Keller does the State of the Union address, and he has amazing statistics for what happened the year before and projections of what will happen the next year. And Brett, you probably know this better than me, but when we looked at appreciation, overall appreciation, I think we went back to 2000 or something, Gary did. I think there were only like 3 or 4 years where we actually had negative appreciation, and most of them we had either flat or appreciation, not depreciation.
Yeah.
And so, and in Florida, that's one of the strongest areas for this. So when I tell people, if you're going to bet on if your house is going to grow value, it's almost guaranteed in Florida. I don't want to say it's a guarantee, but it's almost a guarantee. It's just natural part of the cycle, it seems, here in Florida, where appreciation is almost expected.
Absolutely in South Florida. But I don't care what piece of real estate you buy anywhere in the country. If you hold it long enough, it appreciates.
Yeah.
Now, are there years in that historical time frame you're talking about where real estate went backwards? Yes, it was that whole short sale foreclosure period because people were walking away from their houses in the Great Recession or selling them at a loss, which brought the price depreciation down. But it only went for about 2 or 3 years. And then from that point forward, it's been a straight line up.
Mhm.
And the reality, everybody's like a little bit, I hear people talking about, oh, are we going to go through another period of time like that? You got to remember the amount of equity in most people's homes right now is so great that it's an insurance policy from us ever going back to that time period.
I just watched The Big Short for the first time.
Oh, did you? I haven't
Like,
watched it. I
Oh,
wanna
great
watch it,
movie.
I don't. It's hard to imagine us getting back into a world like that. I mean, I know the banks would easily find themselves in a position like that. I think they're probably in a position like that all the time. But that was such a weird market.
We're not going back there.
That's a place that feels like it's hard to get back to.
Yeah, and that's why we had that crash, is because the mortgages that were written weren't worth the paper they were written on.
That movie is so well done. It's funny. It's perfectly cast, but man, it will make you go, oh,
Right.
we
Yeah.
were all screwed from the get-go.
From the very beginning. From the very beginning. Let me switch over to another aspect, not of so much the real estate market, but the real estate industry.
Sure.
There's been a lot of big fights with the top brokerages about how to handle listings. And the way I started as a realtor 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever, if you took a listing and you were a licensed realtor, you were putting it on the MLS, and you were supposed to put it on the MLS pretty quickly. You couldn't keep it off the market, if you will, to try to find a buyer off market. They wanted you to put it out there
Pocket
for,
list?
they call them pocket listings.
Right.
But now it seems like pocket listings are becoming not just common, but very much wanted by the brokerages, and not all brokerages. There's been a fight in the industry. And I just don't see the benefits of pocket listings for most people. I might be completely wrong about it, totally prejudiced about it, but can you give us an understanding? Because I've gone on 2 listings last couple of weeks where people actually brought up that the other brokers that they met with from different companies were actually saying, don't put it on the MLS right away. This is such a big benefit to you. And I just don't see it. So
Yeah.
could you tell me what's going on with that, Brett, and the people listening out there that might consider this?
So when somebody sells their house, there's 2 things they want. They want the most amount of money for it, and they want it done in the shortest amount of time. And under that, I could say the least amount of hassle, right?
Mhm.
The MLS is a perfect system. And I know this because I work on a global scale where I consult a lot of different Keller Williams in different countries. They don't have MLSs. And you got to understand why wealth is created in America has a lot to do with real estate. And if we create wealth through real estate and we have a perfect system of the MLS, the reason the MLS is a perfect system is because it maximizes exposure of people's properties to get them the most amount of money in the least amount of time. That's the historic of why we have the MLS. All that to say, there are 2 sides to this coin. So when you put a listing in the MLS, it starts tracking days on market, and it starts tracking price reductions and history around that listing. So there is a case that says if you want to sell your house and you want to test the market or try a price without damaging your marketability in the future, we can put it out on a private listing or a pocket listing or a coming soon and test it. And if we test it, we don't damage your marketability long term because there's no record of us being stupid and putting it out there for $200,000 more than it probably really was worth, right? Like we don't damage the marketability of you long term.
Never thought of it that way. That's
Well,
interesting.
that's why we have Brett here today to talk about this.
If you see a listing that's out there forever, you're like, oh, that's
Something's wrong with it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have issues. Let's go work them.
But let me ask you this. So let's say, and then how do the realtors market that property if it isn't on the MLS? So they'll do social media, right? They'll do all of that. they'll put it on the portals like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com? I'm just asking.
Yeah. So there's 100 different strategies right now, and everybody's going to quote that theirs is the best strategy. So most of these pocket listings are now being pushed to the aggregator companies, would be the Zillows, the Realtor.coms, the Homes.com, all those consumer portals that you think of when people are searching for real estate. However, here's the slippery slope to this. How do you know you got the most amount of money for your property if you didn't have the maximum exposure?
That's my problem. Okay, that's the problem I have. So let's say you get that number off market and you got that number. How do you know other people, if it was open to everybody, would give you more?
So real estate professionals, the pros, our job is to bring advice and opinion to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality of this conversation, it's seller's choice. But an uneducated seller's choice can be a risky thing. So our job is to give them the options and educate the pros and cons of all scenarios and let the seller drive this train of what makes the most sense for them.
Can I ask a question, Jeff?
Yeah,
So
please.
Other than what he mentioned, which is like the minute you go on the MLS, it starts counting, right?
Yep.
And some people will use that days on market to gauge offers and negotiating position, things like that. Is there any other downside to being on the MLS? Like, does it cost the seller more money?
No.
Is there something where once you're listed on there, your options are now limited? Or like, what's the downside to being on the MLS? Other than you starting your ticker, right? Your
I mean,
Yeah.
they're now on record, right? Like,
Yeah.
so once you're in the MLS, you're on record. So I could see some high net worth celebrity not wanting records and they want some
Okay.
privacy.
Okay.
That could be a real reason, right?
Because I was thinking the pocket listing was something like the advantage is potentially you're not going on like Zillow, you're not putting it out there, you're going to your building, right?
That's a different.
I don't want it's not a branch. What's it called? The office.
Brokerage.
To your brokerage and say,
Yeah.
hey, I've got this one coming up. If you got any buyers.
And we do that anyway.
I thought that was the whole point of the pocket listing.
Well, like Brett says, we do that anyway, right? Like even before this, but even if it wasn't a pocket listing, you still let all the agents in your network know that your property is available because that's a bigger pool of people. Am I incorrect about that?
No. I mean, 100%. Like 9 times out of 10, you're waiting on the seller to paint or declutter or whatever they're doing. So Jim shows up to the office and goes, hey, I've got this property coming in blankety blank neighborhood at this price with this many bedrooms. If you've got a buyer that's sitting in the wings looking for something like this, I need to put it on your radar. That's pretty common practice because, we know what's coming. Sometimes we're waiting on that seller to get it ready, right?
Sometimes Jim is waiting because you only do listings on Thursdays or something, right?
I like to list everything on a Thursday because National Association of Realtors keeps saying that Thursday, if you put a house on the market Thursday, I'm telling you I'm wonky, right? If you do it on Thursday, supposedly you sell a little higher and a little faster. I don't know why. I have a theory
Advice
about
and
it.
opinion, and you're the pro.
Yeah.
Works for me. And just like this whole show, if you haven't caught it, we're about giving people good information, solid information. This isn't a pitch. It's not it's like you give people information, you give them a professional they can trust, even if it's just a conversation or advice and opinion. And that turns into business. Obviously, that's the whole point. But it's done in a way where it's like you need good information. This is big life, decisions, big moments in your life. You need solid information to work on. So
America is set up where agents are licensed, mortgage brokers are licensed, and it's all done that way to protect the consumer. But bad advice, sometimes it's in the gray area of that protection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an advice. And disclosure is the key, right? Like, hey, here are your options. Here's the pros of this option. Here's the cons of this option. Here's my opinion. But you're driving this train. What makes the most sense to you, and how do you see this best benefit?
I always tell my my clients that you're the boss, I'm the consultant. I'll give you the best advice I can give you, but if you don't agree with me, you make the ultimate decision, and I'm going to back you on that unless it's something illegal or something, right? I'm going to back you on that, and we go. But I give them a lot of information so they can make the right decisions for themselves.
Who should they go to for the illegal stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
we don't have one. We haven't cultivited one of those in the group yet, John.
We do. We need it if we're going to be a real one-stop.
I guess
shop.
Paul Krasker is probably the closest, right? Because he knows where the line is.
The legal line.
Yeah. Paul Krasker helps us with everything. We only got like 10 minutes left or so. So I do want to talk about because this ties into Seller's Edge. So I want to talk about Seller's Edge because I think it's a really good.
I want to know what MAPS means.
Oh, what does MAPS stand for?
Mega Agent Productivity Systems.
Oh, okay. I never knew what it stood for. Keller Williams is crazy about acronyms. They have so many acronyms. It drives me crazy. I just don't know. Just tell me what it means. Just tell me. Don't give me these acronyms. But okay, so I started off the show saying that I've had a lot of people seem like they're being pitched by we buy houses fast for cash kind of companies. And I just want to give some people some background and also a different avenue if you have a certain problem why you want to go to those companies that we might have a solution where you don't have to go there and still maximize your value. So the first thing you need to know with the investors is that most of the time some of these investors that come to you aren't even investors. They're called bird dogs. And they're paid by investors to go out and make phone calls 24/7 looking for motivated sellers that are going to buy a property that are interested in selling their property but off market. And they'll act like they're buying the property, but they're really not. They're the bird dog, right? And the bird dog is finding the property and then going to an investor that hired them and said, hey, I think I found a property. Do you want to buy it? Right? So that's the first thing. So first thing you got to find out, are you dealing with the bird dog or are you dealing with the direct investor? The second thing is cash doesn't mean cash in investing. Cash can be cash, hard cash, pull it out of the bank and give you the money. Or it also could be hard money loans and private money loans. And hard money and private money are very similar to getting a traditional mortgage in this aspect. It isn't so much the appraisal with these kind of loans, but the people that are lending the money want to know that there's enough equity in the property that if the project goes belly up as a business project, they could take the house back and still make a profit.
Right.
So they have private money people and hard money people want to look at the deal first. So it's kind of like an appraisal. And if they're not comfortable that the investor bought the property at the right margin, they're going to say, I don't want to give you the money. And now it's just like having an appraisal. Okay. So that's the second thing. Third thing is the contracts that they write. Most of the contracts are not written with the as is FAR bar, which is Florida Association of Realtors, Florida Bar Association approved contracts. They write their own contracts and they hire lawyers to write the contract for them. And those contracts are very much in favor of the buyer, not the seller. And the next thing is a lot of these people put in very long inspection periods in their contract because they're not really seriously considering buying the property. What they want to do is, let's say Johnny has a property and I found him and he's willing to sell a $500,000 property for $400,000 because they don't want to deal with the work or the hassle of fixing it up. And then now I've got the property under contract at $400,000. I haven't closed yet, but because I put in there that I'm allowed to sign the contract, I can start advertising as if I own it and saying, hey,
$430.
I got Johnny's property. Who wants to give me $450? I won't give you $450, but I'll give you $410. Then I go, nah, I don't want that. And then somebody goes, Mike says, I'll give you $430. And I'll go, great, Mike, give me $30,000. I'm going to give you the contract that I have with Johnny and you close in my place. Johnny has no idea this is going on, doesn't know any of this is going on, right?
Also that he allowed it
and
on the contract.
And he didn't even understand when he was clicking that assignability is okay. And then Mike decides he's not going to close with you for whatever reason. He can't get the money or whatever. And now you're out of luck. I was going to say something else, but you're out of luck right? And I made $30,000 and you didn't sell your house. Happy day for me, bad day for
Will
Johnny.
you still get the 30 in that scenario?
Oh yeah, I get my 30 because now you're the buyer. And if you don't close with Johnny, that's your problem, right? And I get the money, right? All these things are done all the time. People, they don't tell you this in the advertising, will buy your house fast for cash in 21 days. They don't tell you about any of that. Now, a lot of the reasons why people do sell their house at a below market value is because of the repairs, Brett. My kitchen is 32 years old and my bathrooms are 32 years old and it really needs a paint job and my appliances aren't working. I'm just making things up. And who's going to buy my house in this condition? So I'm just going to take whatever I can take and go. But Keller Williams now has a program where people can actually solve that problem without turning to the investor group. Could you explain that?
Yeah. You say Keller Williams, it's actually the Inspire Network, but
I'm sorry, I didn't
you're
mean to say
fine
it that way. I
because
apologize.
there are other Keller Williams networks besides the Inspired Network. So I want to make sure if anybody's listening, they understand that. But, access to money is the number one reason people will do a product like you're talking about, because they feel overwhelmed by what it would take to get the house ready to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start seeing the dollars start to creep up and whether they have access to cash or not on their personal side is a personal scenario. Yet what we brought to the table is a product called Seller's Edge, and it gives a seller a line of credit up to $50,000 to get their house ready for sale.
That's amazing.
And they can obviously do the kitchen remodel, they could do the painting, they could do the landscaping, but they also get a credit card where they could walk into Home Depot and go buy stuff that would improve the home project. They can go rent a storage unit to get all the stuff that's accumulated over the last 10 years out of the house while they sell it. They can pay for dog sitting while the house is being shown. It's anything related to selling of that house. They can get this line of credit. Now they have to pay the money back when they close, and there's an interest rate attached to that. But it's the cost of it's so minimal. But the benefit of actually getting a house ready for market, in the actual the studies show how much more the sales price of that property is when you actually do the work to get it ready for market versus trying to just discount it. Or I remember when I started selling real estate years ago, it was like, oh, I don't want to replace the carpet. I'll just give them an allowance. Well, everybody walked in the house and thought that's a dog ugly house because the carpet was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Where, if you had replaced the carpet ahead of time, it would have sold for top dollar, but now you're taking a discount because you didn't make that repair. Nobody uses carpet these days anymore, but whatever. That was a few years ago, Jim. The reality is if we can bring an option to the table that lets people get whatever done necessary to get their house ready for market so they have an opportunity to get top dollar, we're all in on that. And we were excited to be able to bring this product to market. So it was able to help our agents ultimately help their homeowners get their houses right so they can get the top dollar.
That's it. It sounds like a piece that's been missing. So that's a really inventive solution to, I'm sure, a problem that a lot of sellers, but like your point where you're selling it for 100,000 less. Well, no, spend 50,000 and sell it for 100,000 more.
Sometimes you only need 10 and get that.
Yeah, you don't have to spend 50.
You don't have to spend 50.
No, but why not? Like Vegas, is that okay? Wait, do you monitor?
You do have to pay it back.
It's
It's not like my credit card in college. I'm like, oh, free money. Oh, wait, I got to pay this back.
Wait, who?
We're so short on time right now, but I'm thinking if I'm selling my home and I need to fix it up, that's great. But I'm buying another home. Does getting that other loan to fix up my home screw up my?
It should because it's going to be paid off when you sell your home. So it's going to impact the proceeds of your sale. But the whole reason you're doing it is to increase the proceeds of your sale. So it should it should
increase the proceeds.
It should have a positive ROI, I would say.
And then
right?
one of the
Should
benefits,
at least to break even.
one of the benefits of working with us with that program is that we have tons of contractors, reputable contractors that actually show up and charge you reasonable prices and finish on time.
Yes.
That we can point you to get quotes so you can budget on how to use that money.
Excellent. Thank you very much for joining us on a Saturday. Hope you come back and visit us very soon. Welcome to South Florida, operating principal, the Inspire Network.
Yes.
Brett Caldwell, great to have you with us.
My pleasure. I knew you were cool, but this was really cool.
Very cool. Well, I feel good about you maybe joining us again one day, and I hope it happens.
Yeah.
Mike Rauch, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. I hope you have a great weekend.
Yep. Thanks,
you,
everybody.
Thank you always for everything. Jim DePola with the Florida Home Pros team. Thank you for everything always.
Happy South Florida, everybody.
Jimothy, you're the man.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank
have
you,
a great
sir.
weekend.
Appreciate all that you do. I do invite you to stick around. Greek's going to join me, and we'll squeeze out a sports show here in a moment. Always remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. You should write that down. Know it, use it, love it, share it. On Facebook, like and share away. On YouTube, consume away. You need a pro's pro when you're buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. Anything that touches the world of real estate, we got a professional for you, one click away. You can call the hotline, 888-973-7828. Answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by a live body. That never happens, by the way. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. Change lives, including your very own, with the people that are associated with the one-stop real estate shop. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate. We'll do it again next Saturday. 2 hours of infotainment right here on Real Radio.